James, thank you very much for joining us again on Killie TV. Your first transfer window then as head of football operations. How do you feel it's went?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, it has. I think you always look to be stronger coming out the other end, if possible. So we feel bringing Greg Killie back, who had a really good loan spell at Dunfermline. Nicky Kabamba showed in the games that he's played so far that he's a good player, he's scored goals, and I think he'll only get better as well when he gets to know the players and the staff even better. And Harry Bunn, who's played as well. So we'll play one or two maybe shot that we would like. We tried quite hard on Friday. It was a really frustrating day. But it's one of the ones that there's now some free agents that we're going to consider as well and look to try and strengthen. Across
the interview there's lots that we want to address and talk about, not just about transfer deadline day, but staying with that. I think one of the elephants in the room is the social media rumours about Yusuf Malumbu, Aaron Tishbola. Deadline day itself, obviously we bring Kirk Broadfoot back in as well. Talk us through the day and what happened from the minute you came into work to the minute we all left at 12:30 that night.
Even going back further than that, I think Malumbu is somebody that Alex has known and obviously worked with previously. I think there was some contact, and then I think he just disappeared, I think, off the face of the earth as well. So he's something that Alex likes, would have liked to get in, seen him training, see where his fitness was and look to try and add it in the squad. Unfortunately that never happened. And on Aaron Tishbola, he was somebody that contacted Alex actually at the beginning of last week, looking to come back. He enjoyed it here before. We thought we had agreed a deal financially. We were expecting him to fly into the country on Friday, and then we got a phone call late afternoon from his agent to say that he was going to Portugal. So that was one that was really tough. As I say, he's been here before, knows Alex well. We thought we had everything agreed, it was just a matter of getting the paperwork done, and to find out that late on Friday was really frustrating.
How much of a spanner in the works did that put into the overall kind of strategy to your deadline day?
Yeah, it does, because you think you've got a deal done and you're just really waiting on the paperwork getting signed. So then it's not an area you focus on, and then even in that time over the kind of 24, 48 hours previously, there'll be players signing for other clubs as well that might have been targets in that area of the pitch. So for it to happen so late, we knew he was becoming a free agent, so it wasn't a massive rush to get him signed on the Friday. We thought we can get him in the Friday, it'll take a couple of days to get tied up. But obviously when you miss out on him, it really puts the pressure on, and unfortunately we didn't manage to get anybody in that area of the pitch.
You've mentioned there free agents. Alex has touched on it as well. What are we kind of looking for? Is it a market we'll continue to look at just now as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're looking to add in the forward areas. It's obviously great after Saturday where Eamon Brothy scores 2 and obviously Nicky Kabamba scores as well. So it was a great day for them, and I just think we want to make sure we've got plenty of competition, plenty of cover. So if we can add one in that area of the pitch, it would be good. Some players have been freed from their contracts at the end of the window, so it's not necessarily looking at players that haven't played for a long period of time. As I say, sometimes they just get freed from clubs because they want to go and play elsewhere.
Let's talk then about strategy. Obviously we've mentioned Greg Kiltie's back, Harry Bunn's come in, Broaders has come in as well. But you're talking about players maybe we've missed. Has money been an issue? Has selling the club to players been an issue for you during the window?
No, I think we freed up some money at the start of the window. I think we identified through myself and Alex players that we felt could either be released or go back to their club. So we had a couple in the forward areas that happened with. So we had that budget to work with. And to be fair to the board, they came and they offered more money as well. So there was a budget there. So there was plenty of money. The board backed Alex and his opinions of who he needed in the building. So we appreciate that. The difficult thing was sometimes markets we're looking at. England's got lots of players available, but these players have options as well, and obviously we were one option. And as I say, Friday was really frustrating because we missed out on quite a few that we thought were really close. And it is having your first, second, third options, and you do get down the line, but it comes to a stage where it needs to be right. It's not just bringing in bodies for the sake of bodies. And I know everybody in transfer deadline day expects the business to happen. We're conscious that we'd obviously added Nicky Kabamba earlier in the window and Harry Bunn, who's a forward going player as well. So I think sometimes, and I've maybe been guilty of that myself, you expect that big signing on a transfer deadline day, but if you're doing your work ideally or properly, you would rather it be earlier in the window as well, and it just puts everybody in a better position, and financially you can sometimes get squeezed as well on a deadline day from players and agents, but you've got to make a stance at certain points as well. But there's plenty of funds available from the board who have backed the manager, so that's not been an issue. Sometimes players come to Scotland can be an issue as well. There was one player who we were keen on, and he was looking for a 2.5-year contract, which we weren't happy to commit to. As I say, so there was different reasons for missing out on players, but we felt we were pretty close with some, and it was frustrating the way it finished.
How difficult then is the process when agents are involved, players are involved, umpteen thousand phone calls are involved as well? It's not just one player that takes up a lot of time. You are really kind of rallying about, but the important thing I think is not to panic buy.
No, I think it's getting the right players in the building for the right reasons as well. They want to have to come here. That's something that Alex has been keen on, that they're going to add to the group. So there was options there that we could have brought in. Did they make us any better in our opinion? No. As I said, we could have brought in one or two, but it wouldn't have strengthened the group, wouldn't have made the group any stronger, and that's what we need for the second half of the season.
I think maybe other frustrations, James, on deadline day are that fans are seeing rival clubs signing players left, right and centre, and it perhaps amplifies to their anxiety in not seeing their own team making the signings they want to make.
Yeah, I can understand that anxiety, and obviously that gets heightened in social media, and it becomes a little bit of a frenzy at times as well. I don't think we lost out to any other club in Scotland that were in for the same player as ourselves as well, so I take that as a positive. We knew probably 75-80% of what was happening at other clubs, because we'd had obviously done a lot of our background ourselves. I just think social media can kind of create a storm as well, and I think they've got to trust in the process, and the fans have been great with me since I came in. Although I think one did want me to resign on Friday when a certain player got announced, but as I say, that's part and parcel of this job. I'm here to do the best for Kilmarnock. I'm a Kilmarnock fan, and whether that's financially or getting the right players in, as I say, the board have been great with me as well. It's just important that we create that atmosphere at Killie. I thought the fans were great Saturday. It would have been easy to get really frustrated at half time when they were 1-0 down. A couple of little boos I did here, but in the general they were really good, and it probably helped that second half performance as well, because I didn't think we probably deserved to be behind it Saturday, but sometimes you find yourself low in confidence, you get a wee hit against you, but they were great second half, and obviously you hear the fans singing and the joy and probably the relief as well for everybody as well on Saturday. So it's important that we kind of stick together, the trust that everybody at the club's got the best club's interests at heart, and we'll try to build for the future as well.
Move away from deadline day, James. Let's talk about scouting and recruitment. Have things had to be overhauled since the last two managers?
I think we're looking to add to what we've already got. Probably the last month or two is let me see what we've got in place. I've added one person who's got a good knowledge of English football. He's Scottish based, but he's worked in teams with England and Scotland as well. So we've obviously got one in England that's there a lot, but it's looking to add to that as well. I say between myself, having worked down there, the contacts that Alex has got as well, we can pick up the phone to probably most clubs in England and ask their opinion on the players that they have. But just getting bodies into stadiums and feet on the ground just to see what's out there as well is something we're looking. And then it's looking to target key markets as well. Obviously England can be notoriously expensive for what you get, but we're in the market for some English players, and they were within budget. So that is maybe League One, or like we say, we've seen Nicky coming in from the conference, and he showed that he's capable of playing at this level. So I think there's different areas and different countries within Europe that we'll definitely look to increase our network in.
Let's also move on to out of contract players. Again, a lot of chat about that. That's part of your remit. What's going on that front?
Yeah, so obviously there's players within the building that we want to keep. We've had initial discussions with some of them, and then that'll be a discussion now that the window's closed for myself and Alex to have, and ones that he sees being here next year. That won't be anything that's probably decided in the next week or two, but it's something we monitor that we're going on. We want to tie up your best players as well, and I think the key thing is players coming through the academy. We want to try and improve that as well. So a lot of the boys are out of contract in the summer, and it's important that we keep our best ones and be fair to the ones that maybe won't be here as well, and that's an exit strategy for them as well.
Well, that brings me on quite nicely actually to want to talk about the youth system, the setup in the academy. Just how much are you trying to raise the bar there and bring in players from the youth system to the first team?
Yeah, I think that's been Kilmarnock's way over the last 15-20 years, I would imagine as well. So, and it's something we want to do more of. It's something that the club need to support Paul and his staff within that, and looking to especially at the top end, recruit where we need to recruit. So it's having that pathway from academy through the first team, but sometimes there's gaps appear, and it's important that we're getting the right players in at the right stage as well to help develop them for the reserves, for the under 18s, so they're ready to play in our first team.
You mentioned that it has been a great thing of Kilmarnock over the years to bring in players from the youth set-up, Stephen Naismith being one of those players. Is there any sort of pressure on you to get the right players to sell on, or are the board quite easy on that front?
No, I don't think there's any pressure from the board in that. I think we are a selling club. I think that's going to be part of the business model moving forward. Can we bring in players through our academy? Can we bring them in externally? Can we enjoy them while they're here? Yeah, and then sell them on as well, and that then money gets reinvested back into the club, into the academy. So that's important. I think there's always an affinity with fans for your own players that are coming through the system, if it's local lads. But at the same time, you can do that at the top end because there is lots of players out there. And it's important that we do that because even for budget-wise, you've got a young player coming through. Yeah, they're hungry, and that's their motivation is to do well, and it's not a financial one. And obviously that helps us as well as a club.
You've also got bigger clubs down south that might look at some of our academy players as well and try and get them when they're a bit younger.
Yeah, and I think Brexit is possibly going to be something that's going to really cause a problem for Scottish teams as well, because I think the movement between the European clubs and then players in England especially is going to potentially be an issue. So they'll be looking within Scotland as well. And I think speaking to one or two clubs as well, that's probably a market that they are going to be looking at. So yeah, that is an area that we don't want to sell our best young players, but we know that that's just part and parcel of football. But if we can bring our own youngsters through like we have with like young Liam as well, it's something that we thank them for their services and then we wish them well in the future. One
of the final things I want to talk to you about, James, is the women's team now coming in-house. There obviously was a manager outgoing, a new manager potentially coming in now as well. How is that affecting what you're doing?
Yeah, so that's obviously part of our remit as well now at the club with the Killie ladies first team coming under the club's umbrella. So it's something we're looking forward to. I think it's probably been overdue, to be honest as well. So it's important that we're kind of backing the new manager, who hopefully will be announced in the next couple of days as well. And it's been a challenge. There was a lot of interest in the job, but we feel that we've appointed the right candidate to take the club forward and hopefully get them promoted this season.
Did it take you by surprise the amount of applications and the calibre that you got?
Yeah, but I think that's just probably football in general these days, the amount of people that want to work within the game. And there was people willing to relocate as well. It's a part-time opportunity and they were looking for other jobs within the club and the community department. So that's really pleasing. And as I say, it's something that hopefully we can create a lot of success with as well. What
is the sort of strategy for the women's team as a whole going forward, right through the academy to the first team? Yeah, well, Davy Howie's done a lot of work within the academy side. And it's kind of, I suppose, his baby, as he might say as well. And it's probably been tough for him to give it up in terms of the first team coming under the club's umbrella, but I think it's important. As I say, we've got probably the infrastructure here that can help, the staff and that can help, and it's getting bigger and bigger, so it's a lot of work for one person, and hopefully we can support him and the academy and have that pathway as well for the young local girls that are in our academy currently to become first team players at Kilmarnock Football Club. So a lot to look forward to from the women's side of it. Yeah, definitely exciting times. It is exciting times. And finally then, James, kind of sum up your thoughts on how the first few months of the job have went and maybe what goals and targets we've got going into the next window. Yeah, it's obviously been a busy couple of months for myself, obviously losing a manager, appointing Alex as well, the recruitment side of it, people coming and going as well and the playing side, so it's a challenge, but it's something I'm looking forward to as well, and now that the window's closed, we're looking to add one or two, but we'll now start recruiting for next season as well, and that's probably not the structure that we had before. We know within the club that the areas that we need to strengthen. We know we've got players out of contract, players will move on for one reason or another. We hopefully keep our best players to try and build something, but we know we need to be ready to recruit and have ones lined up. And I don't think it will be as stressful as the January transfer window. There'll be a lot more options, and we'll be able to do a lot more homework as well and getting the right types to come to play Kilmarnock. Does getting it right in the summer make it a lot easier for the winter? Yeah, it does. I think obviously you know where you are budget-wise if you've got people contributing on the pitch. That's the most important thing. We want to have a competitive squad and everybody playing their part. And if not, then we help them find a club for them as well, and whether that's our younger players or players that haven't played as much as we've done in the January window, because ultimately players want to play.
and we want players that want to be at Kilmarnock and to give them their full focus. So that's what we'll be looking to do in the summer.
Well, James, we look forward to what's coming ahead for you, for the club, and for all the teams across the Kilmarnock Football Club umbrella. Thank you very much for joining us again on Killie TV.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.